guys, welcome to Mitch's Music. Today we are going to do my second video on Craving You. Yesterday I released a video that was all about that intro, and if you'd like to check that out, check it out up here. And today I'm going to just talk about the chords, and it's pretty simple, but I get so many questions on how to do the rhythm pattern of different songs. I wanted to talk a little bit about that today because it's not a clear-cut answer even with one song, because there, especially in country and worship music, and depending on how you're playing it, whether you're playing it by yourself or in a band, because you're going to play differently in a different strumming pattern based on the guitar you're playing, whether it's electric or acoustic possibly, whether you are playing with more than one guitarist, whether you're playing by yourself. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about how I would play this particular song in a couple of different situations, because I just get this question all the time. And if you listen to the beginning of this one, there are so many instruments in here. If you tried to recreate that in a live scenario without a sound guy that's like really on his game, it would be really, really hard, especially in a small venue, for it to just not sound like a mess. But especially in country and worship music, they're created with a lot of guitars and a lot of instruments to create this wall of sound. And if you try to replicate every single guitar part in there live, you're probably going to come up with just a really messy sound. So what I would stick to when I'm listening to a song, if I were you, is to just find the main rhythm of the part and replicate that on the guitar. And that's one of the things I want to talk about today, is finding that rhythm, because a lot of guitarists, a lot of guitar instructors treat guitar as this, like you have to have a code, like a down, up, down, up, down, up. And I'm going to show you today how you can change your rhythm with just doing a straight down, up, down, up, down, up all the time motion, just up and down constantly. Because once you get better at that, you can change the way your rhythm sounds by using your left hand and using your right hand to just be comfortable and change the accents of what you're playing. And I know that sounds complicated, but I promise you, if you just work more on the down-up rhythm with this hand and not worry about this combination of down and ups and just get the flowing strumming pattern of this hand, it's going to free you up to play rhythms that you thought were impossible in the past. So just bear with me. I'm going to go through this one. If you enjoy these videos, guys, click that subscribe button and check out my description below to find out how you can learn one-on-one with me for free. And you basically give me 5 songs that you want to learn. I help you learn them, and we do it in 10 days. And I'll give you lessons to get you started based on your level, and help you learn those 5 songs. So check that out in the description below, and let's get started on this lesson. Before we get started, there are a couple of chords, and this is going to be a long video, so feel free to skip around, because I'm going to go over all of the chords, and I'm going to go over a couple of the different ways that they play the chords in this song. So let's go over all of the chords first. So the first progression, and this is the main progression of chords, and there's one little change that happens at the end of the verse. It's kind of like a pre-chorus. But in general, these are just the only 2 chord progressions. So it starts like this. You've got F, and let me take my delay on. I'll talk about that a little bit later. So F, A minor, G, minor. And I don't care how you play those. Once you see the rhythms we're going to play later, you might find a certain way that you would prefer to play it. So you could do the F bar chord. You could do just a normal A minor up here. Normal G is fine. D minor over here is fine. It doesn't really matter the way that you play it. Pick your favorite way, and that's it. Okay, so the first rhythm that we hear at the beginning is you've just got this rhythm that goes. All right, and it sounds tricky, but all I'm just doing. So what I want you to try to do right now is pause the video and try to replicate that rhythm. And I'm doing a lot of down ups. Notice those accents. Da 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 da. Now, you're not going to be playing the note that many times, and I'll show you how to do that up here. And this is the trickier part. This part down here, you'll probably get pretty fast. And if you need to just do the... You notice that sounds like a great rhythm, but if you want to add a little bit more depth to it, we're just going to mute this a couple of times. So we're only gonna play these notes on those accents, and every other time we have it up. And notice I'm only playing one string. I'm not even playing chords. So this is something that you can practice even if you're still having trouble with bar chords. And once I add my delay back and the distortion, it's going to sound much bigger and much like there's a lot of guitars. So this is great for if you're playing in a band and you're the only guitarist. You would probably be playing that lead part at the beginning if you're the only guitarist, but it would also be great if you are a solo musician and just playing this song by yourself. This is a great rhythm to accompany you on that, and sorry, my computer's dying over here, but to accompany you on that rhythm. So let me just show you what it sounds like with the delay. And basically what I'm doing is I have a quarter note delay and an eighth note delay at a dotted eighth note delay back to back, and then I just have a tube screamer as my distortion, and when I add it all together it sounds pretty big. So that's a great thing for if you're a solo guitarist, you're the only one playing, another guitarist is not playing that part, because one thing that we don't want to do is step on other guitar parts. So if somebody else is already playing that part, I would just do single chords. So not very glamorous, but it's going to sound a lot better than everybody trying to play that together, especially if you guys are using that delay, because the delay is not going to sync and it's just going to sound like a bunch of echoey mess, and your sound guy is going to have a lot to mess with. And so I would just stick with something pretty simple. So 2 rhythms for you to take a look at. And if you want to play more chords, you can do the same thing that I just did, but just with bar chords. But if you notice, even with that, it gets a little messy with the delay. So just be careful. If you want to do bar chords, you may want to take the delay off. But like I said, if that's too hard for you, you could also just start out with the. I'm just going downstrokes the whole time. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So in the end, those are the chords. You just got F, A minor, G, D minor, and pick your poison. So there's a lot of options in there. If you have specific questions, leave those in the comments, because I get these questions all the time and I want to answer your specific questions. So hopefully this helped, but if you still have questions, leave those in the comments below and I'll talk about those and do videos on them. And if you have any other requests, this song in particular was a request. So if you have other requests, leave those in the comments as well. Okay, I wanted to go over one more thing, and for this one, I'm gonna leave the distortion on, but I'm gonna take the delays off, because I found that this one, and I'm still leaving a reverb on, and I found that this one gets a little messy with the delays. But this is the pre-chorus part, and the chords for the pre-chorus change a little bit. So you've still got the F, then the A minor. Then this time, instead of going to G, it's going to go to C, and then to G. So F, A minor, C, G. All right, and so you can still keep what we worked on. If I were doing this by myself, I would probably open it a little bit, open it up a little bit more right now. So if I was doing an acoustic, instead of doing the I would probably do something more like because as an acoustic guitarist, you want to have those dynamics. So start with the muffled and then kind of open the strings up, because the only variety acoustic really has, because you're not adding distortion most of the time. So the only volume it has is by you muffling it or playing softer and just strumming harder and playing louder. So those are your main volumes. You can pick, but for this song, I wouldn't really pick it. I would just keep doing those types of rhythms. All right, so let me show you the chords that are actually in that song. So we're still gonna do those same chords, but there's a guitar part that comes in pretty dominantly when these chords come in, and it does the same chords, but just in a different way. So you've got an F, just playing the bottom of that bar chord, and then you're gonna go to an A minor, once again playing the bottom of that bar chord. Then you're gonna go up to C up here, and then to a G right here. All right, so let's go over those again. So the F, I'm barring the first fret on the B and the E string. Second fret is, I'm gonna have my second finger on the second fret of the G string. Make sure you only play the bottom 3 strings. Then you're gonna bar all 3, G, B, and A, or G, B, and E on the 5th fret, and that'll give you an A minor chord. Then you're going to go back to this same position that you did right here, but on the 8th and 9th fret. So my first finger is barring the 8th and 9th, the 8th on the B and E, and my second finger is on the 9th on the G. And then after that, so that's a C. Then after that, we're gonna go to a G chord, right here, and this is like the D position of a G chord, and that is 7th fret on the G string with my first finger. Second finger is on the high E on the 7th fret, and then my third finger is on the 8th fret on the B, and we're playing the bottom 3 for all of these. So once again, they sound like this: F, A minor, C, then G. All right, so this rhythm sounds like this. So what I'm doing to get that sound is I'm lifting my fingers up when you hear that stop every time. So it's... And you notice my right hand is still doing that down up. Like, so when I'm lifting up with my left hand, you still hear. All right, so it might take a little practice to only hit those strings, but just work on it and just try to aim down so that and then when you come up, aim up. So down towards the guitar and then up away from the guitar, and that'll help you avoid these strings. And you can also slightly touch that D string with your finger, and that'll stop it a little bit. All right, so let's do this again. So you got F, A minor, C, G, F, A minor, C, G. All right, and that's it, guys. So I went over a couple of different ways to play these chords. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments below and let me know if there's a song that you would like to do. I'm always looking for new songs to do, and these last 2 songs, yours and the one I'm doing now, Craving You, were great requests, and I really enjoyed learning them, and they were not on my radar, so I wouldn't have done them had they not been requested. So send your request in, and I really want to help you learn your strumming, and I really want to know your questions, so leave those in the comments below. And I'm contemplating doing a live stream on just strumming so that you guys can communicate one-on-one with me, and I'm trying to pick out a time, so be looking for a poll or a survey coming out pretty soon to see if you're interested in a live stream, what your questions are, and what time would be best for you guys to actually be at the live stream and participate, because one of the main reasons I want to do the live streams is to get your questions answered live, so that I know exactly where you are, what you're working on, and what you're struggling with. So leave those in the comments below, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I know this was a longer one, but hopefully it helped. Click that subscribe button and let your friends know about this channel, so that they can send in their requests and get to learning guitar and how to play chords and things like that. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.